Hello! I'm Shivani, this is the Curly Bookworm, and this is the second time I'm recording this. I recorded it on mute. But hold on! Stay, because I'm reviewing my experience of audiobooks in this video. So there are a couple of things that I want to say about audiobooks before I actually begin. First is that this was part of my goals last year. I told myself that, hey, listen, there's so much that people are saying about audiobooks. Maybe you should give it another try, which is the second thing I wanted to say, that I have tried it before. I had tried it once, like a few years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and I did not enjoy it. This was a book that I had read or listened to by Mindy Kaling. I think it was a funny autobiographical book, and when I read the book itself, like I read it a little bit, I was like, oh, I like this so much better than the audiobook. And so I have tried audiobooks, but it just didn't work out for me. I don't know if it was the mood, I don't know what it was, but it just didn't. So the first thing that you should know is that if you're from India, you do not have the option of borrowing library audiobooks. There's no way that you can do that. So the only route that you have is to have an actual Audible account, which is the fourth thing that you should know. It is so expensive. It is crazy expensive, you guys. I mean, it's not like gold expensive, but it may as well be, because it's like $15 for one book only, and then over and above that, if you want to buy more audiobooks, then you have to pay for it, and they say it's half price, but I'm not really sure if it is. But that is just a suspicious person in me talking. I don't know what the deal is, but it's expensive, okay? That's basically the point that I want to try and make. So this time I did a super strategic thing when I went into my exploration of audiobooks. What I did is that I basically said I will pick a couple of different genres and see if it's the genre that is not making me like the audiobook, and that's what I did. So the first one that I did was I picked a book that I'd already read before. This one was Harry Potter. So that my point here was that if you already like the book, maybe you will like the audiobook as well. And I was half right in that it was narrated by Stephen Fry, who is such an awesome everything. He's a freaking awesome writer. He is great as an actor. He is great at apparently narrating. So I listened to this audiobook. It was the first book of Harry Potter, and I was really impressed by his skill and his talent. But was I impressed with the experience of the audiobook? Not really. I was like, it's fine. I mean, I finished it and I was like, that was nice. It wasn't unbearable. That was nice. But yeah, I'm not sure if it was completely satisfactory. So I did the second thing that I set out to do, which is read a non-fiction book. The non-fiction book that I read was something that I had not read before. This was Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert, which is about creative living and how to live creatively and do things creatively without really being scared of it. I loved the book. Loved Elizabeth Gilbert beyond. So I got lucky again. The narrator was amazing. She sounded like magic in my ears. Like, that's how amazing she was. And her book basically ended up on my top 10 list of last year. So that was a huge raging success. And I really loved that experience. And so the third thing that I wanted to try was do a fiction book again, but one that I hadn't read. So I basically listened to They Both Die in the End by Adam Silvera, which was an interesting experience. And I say interesting because that's all it was. It was not a good experience. I think I gave the book like 3 or 3.5. I can't remember. The story itself was not bad. It was a pretty cool concept. It's about people getting to know, like they get a call before they die and what they do with those 24 hours that they have left. It was a cool story. It was a YA book, so that's great because YA is easy. It's not heavy listening, which is one of the reasons why I chose this one. And so it was good, but I kept finding myself distracted. Plus the narrator was just as great as the other two books that I had listened to. And so in that sense, it was a bit of a fail. So it was an interesting experiment overall, because I was like, okay, so you really like Stephen Fry. You clearly also really like Elizabeth Gilbert. So let's see if it's the narrator that is really what makes an audiobook great. I think that's true to an extent, because this particular book, this They Both Die in the End book, the narrator was so average. I'd almost say that he was bad. I know there are multiple narrators, but whatever. It did not work for me, and I was just like, whatever. And then the fourth book that I'm kind of reading right now, or listening to right now, is Sapiens. So this was another experiment, because I have read the book. I am reading the book currently on my Kindle, and I was like, oh, okay, since I have a free credit, why don't I try Sapiens to listen to, because I was really enjoying reading the book. It's really heavy, so you can't do it in one go. So I was like, let me see if I can listen to it instead. And so I got the audiobook, and it was an interesting experience again, because I feel like with this, because it was such a heavy topic, I just kept getting distracted. It felt like a history lesson. Again, the narrator was amazing on this, but I just didn't feel it, and I feel like the experience of reading the book was amazing, because I was halfway through that anyway. And so I was like, no, I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to reading the book, because I enjoyed that experience a lot more. So I have a couple of takeaways here. One is, apparently the narrator of the book makes all of the difference in the world. Surprise, surprise. And the other is that I think genre, this is sort of my conclusion from my amazing research experience, I think the genre might make a difference in how you perceive or listen to audiobooks. And how much you like them or not, for that matter. My immediate conclusion for myself is that unfortunately I will not be investing in any audiobooks anymore. Suddenly I was like, oh, if you like listening to stuff, maybe you like listening to podcasts. And so parallelly I started listening to podcasts, and interestingly enough, that was a complete success, and I am totally in love with it. I listen to podcasts all the way to work and back every single day. If you have any podcast recommendations, I'd really appreciate it if you put them in the comments below. So those were my discoveries of my experience and my experiments and my research with audiobooks. My final word on it is really, I don't think it's worth it. It's a very hit or miss sort of a thing, and it's very expensive for me, so I'm not going to be pursuing this. That's it from me. If you want to share this opinion with other people who are curious about audiobooks, please share this video, subscribe to this channel, get other people to subscribe to this channel, because that's a nice thing to do. Like this video and send me all your comments below, because I definitely want to know how your experience with audiobooks has been. If I'm the only freak in the world who's just not able to like concentrate on when someone's talking in my ear, or like what's the scene, I don't know what the scene is. Tell me how you feel so I don't feel like a freak about it. I'm gonna go now. Bye.